What's up, guys? Douglas here, and today we're gonna get back into the bike reviews. So as far as I know, Sunday and Quik have both released their 2021 lines, and I've done all the reviews for Quik on my website. I'm going to start rolling into some video reviews for them, and also I'm working on all the reviews for the Sunday. Before I get into the review, look, I'm giving away some sticker sheets, okay? I know they're not the best, like I ripped off the Netflix logo and stuff. This says go fast. Anyway, all you have to do is leave a comment, and in about a week, I'm gonna pick 3 random people. I'm gonna hook them up with some sticker sheets. So make sure you comment. Just tell me what your favorite brand is. That's what I wanna know this week. I wanna know your favorite brand. Cult, Quik, Fit, whatever. Just let me know. So let's get into it. Now, the 2021 Street Sweeper has a lot of aftermarket parts, like aftermarket frame, aftermarket sprocket, pedals, grips, the seat, the hub. It's got a clutch freecoaster. That's a really good freecoaster hub. So they put a lot of quality into this bike. It comes with a 20.7 5-inch top tube, so it's for medium-sized riders, like I'd say 5'6" to 6 foot. It's got a really short chainstay. 12.7 to 13-inch chainstay. So it's going to be really responsive. Like think about Jake Seeley's style of riding. That's kind of the specs on this bike are designed to kind of mimic that. So if you want to ride like that, these specs are perfect for you. This is what Sunday says about it. Built around Jake Seeley's all-new chromoly aftermarket signature frame, it uses a 75.25 degree head tube angle with a very short chainstay, a higher bottom bracket to match perfectly with Jake's technical riding style. With its 4-piece bars, 160 millimeter cranks, sealed Odyssey, freecoaster, and the sweeper tires, it's truly a pro-level bike. And that's kind of what I categorize it at. It's also, it's a high-level bike too. I wouldn't really go pro. Like I'd say the Gary Young Soundwave is more of a pro bike because literally everything on there is aftermarket. So it's like a fully custom bike, where this one's got a few like standard generic parts. It has a lot of aftermarket, but it's not fully pro level. So that's what I'd say about it. It's $709, which I understand that's definitely a lot of money. And really the only people who are going to spend that much on a bike are adults that are getting back into the sport, or kids whose parents have a lot of money. That's about it. When I was getting my complete bikes, I don't think my parents would spend more than like $400 or $500, and usually I had to put up a lot of that money myself. So I get it if this is way out of your price range. Either save some money or let's get you on a cheaper bike that still has some decent quality. The color is a matte green fade. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't like it. I don't like that color. It's weird. Most of it's black, and the frame is the only thing funky to me. Maybe you love the color. I don't know. Jake Seeley probably loves the color. It's always an option to pull your bike apart, paint the frame, and go for that. But if you're spending $700 on a bike, you shouldn't have to do that. You should get one with a color that you love. So, hey, let me know, do you like this color or not? Because I don't like it. Anyway, let's talk about the frame specs and how it's going to affect your riding. The 20.7 5-inch top tube, like I mentioned before, is going to be for riders who are 5'6" to about 6 foot. If you're taller than that and you really want to be able to manhandle the bike, this is fine. Like I'm 6'4" and I rode a 20.7. It looked tiny on me, but I could double whip like that, So it really does play into like your style of riding. If you want to have more of a chase hawk, flowy type, then you're going to want to be a smaller guy, like smaller than 5'6", and get this 20.75, because that way the bike is going to be a lot more stable, if that makes any sense. If you want snappy, responsive feeling, then you want to be closer to the 6 foot. The 12.7 to 13 inch chainstay is 12.7 slammed, 13 inches all the way back. Usually you run it about mid, so it's going to be right in between those two numbers. It's a shorter chainstay, so it's good for responsiveness, like quicker spins. Manuals are going to feel really uncontrolled. It's going to be easy to loop out. Same with bunny hops. There's going to be a lot of a finer point that you can pull back to. So be careful with that. It does definitely just play into the responsiveness that we talked about earlier. The head tube angle is 75.25 degrees, which is 1/4 of a degree steeper than most aftermarket or most complete bikes in general. Most sit right at 75, and you hardly ever see that change. I have an article about head tube angles, so go over to my site, check that out if you don't understand what it means. Essentially, it's just going to be a little steeper. So nose manuals are going to pop up quicker, turning is going to be a lot more snappy, and things along that line. The standover height is 8.87, and it's not a tall standover, but it's not a short standover. It's kind of, it's closer to tall, actually. I'd say, to me, 9 inches tall, so it's just below that. And this gives you the seats higher up, so it's easier to pinch the seat for toboggans or bar spins or things like that, where whips are going to be a little harder because you're going to have to get your foot more out of the way when you kick them. It also makes the bike feel a little more stable when it's taller up there. Now this bike is super high quality just because of the fact that it has so many aftermarket parts. And you get a right-hand drive and a left-hand drive option, which is really cool because essentially if you're right foot forward, you want to run left-hand drive because generally you're going to grind on the side of your forward foot. It's got shorter cranks, so 160 millimeters short, 175 is average, 170 to 175. And 180 is really tall. So these are shorter cranks, good for short legs. I had somebody request a bike recommendation, and he said short legs. And so this is something that you want to look for if you have short legs. It also gives you a lot, the pedals are going to be closer to center. So if you're bad at catching whips on pedals, shorter cranks are going to help you out, because your feet are going to be able to just go closer to center and you'll be closer to the pedals. If you have 180, you whip, you catch close to center, your feet are going to blow off. All right, so the conclusion, the 2021 Street Sweeper is a very expensive bike, and it's designed for riders who are at a high to pro level. If you're just a beginner, just starting out, you don't need this bike. Settle for a lower price bike, because quite frankly, it'd be a waste of money if you spent $700 on this bike and you're not going to utilize it to its full potential. Now, I mean, if you want to be extra, go ahead, buy the bike, but you don't need to. You should be, at the point where you're doing bars, working on whips, big stair drops, big 360s, and those kind of tricks, because this bike is going to hold up to such a high level of riding. If you're just trying to learn 180s and bunny hops and all that, go ahead and get a lower quality bike, test out the sport, see if you like it, see if you hate it, and then if you fall in love with the sport and you get to that level, buy a bike like this. So right now though, beginners is too much. Okay, now to my mid to high level riders out there, this is a really good bike. It's worth the price. Especially because it's an aftermarket frame, which probably costs around $350 on its own. Generally, the lower end Sunday completes, in my opinion, are a little overpriced. This one, though, is right on point with what you're getting. If you liked it and you want to see some more, make sure you go over to my channel, check out the rest of the reviews. Somewhere around here, I'll have a button that you can click. It'll take you right to a playlist of all the reviews that I've done. I'm always working on more, so make sure you subscribe and get notified when a new one does come out. Remember, leave a comment, your favorite brand, so I can mail you some sticker sheets, or a sticker sheet. They're kind of expensive, so you're only going to get one, but sorry about that.